Welcome to Hearts and Stripes, your one-stop shop for all things military marriage. I hope our discussions and interviews equip you with the tools to start or grow a beautiful marriage as we address the benefits and challenges of marriage. I believe life's most precious moments are worth celebrating, so I'll help you design your marriage blueprint in alignment with your core values. Thank you for joining us, and remember to rate, subscribe, and review. Let's do this. Hello, and welcome to Hearts and Stripes podcast. This is your host, Bree Carroll, and I am really honored to bring you this heart-to-heart on Memorial Day. So, as many of you may be pausing today and honoring our service members that made the ultimate sacrifice, I thought that we would also just pay homage, keep those members in our minds, and specifically highlight the story of one Gold Star spouse. So this interview actually, it wasn't an interview. It was actually a segment from Military Marriage Day's virtual celebration in 2020. And this spouse shared her amazing story, her military marriage story. And I thought it was very appropriate to honor her spouse that has passed, honor her family as they move forward. And I don't want to give too much away because I really want you to lean in and hear their story on this Memorial Day. But I wanted to take the time to do this and first say to all of our families who Memorial Day is not just another holiday, is not just a time to barbecue, but you truly have experienced loss. You are even grieving during this time. I just want to say that I see you. And I think just in this time in our nation, things can get really commercial really quickly. And you see the sales and people are going out to eat and stuff. And I don't want to miss the opportunity to just really respect what this holiday means and acknowledge the fact that there is a community that is hurting during this time, or grieving and remembering, paying homage to those who have who are not with us, right? And especially those Gold Star families. So before we even jump into this story, I wanted to just take a second and say that I see you, we honor you, and here in Hearts and Stripes podcast, we're all about strengthening military marriages. So we felt it would be appropriate to highlight a military marriage story of a Gold Star spouse. So this is actually twofold because we also wanted to just take the time to highlight the fact that this story came from Military Marriage Day. And for those of you who have listened to the past two episodes, you know that Hearts and Stripes, this episode is sponsored by Military Marriage Day. And Military Marriage Day is a holiday that will be celebrated on August the 14th, all about honoring and focusing on military marriages so that they can be equipped to be healthy, sustainable, and strengthened during this time of reflection. Military Marriage Day is the Armed Forces' newest holiday, and I'm excited because in this 2021 celebration, guests and participants will have the opportunity to go even deeper during this celebration and really get equipped with the tools that they need for their marriage, as we have added the Military Marriage Day Summit. So you can find out more information on Military Marriage Day, the summit, and even check out last year's virtual celebration video at militarymarriageday.com. So today's story is brought to you by the lovely Krista Simpson. She is an amazing military spouse. She is a Christian. She is a Blue Star and Gold Star spouse. She's a mom of boys and an advocate for our military families. We are just so grateful to have had the opportunity to shine the light on her story. And I hope that you guys lean in and listen to her lessons learned as she shares her military marriage story and as we honor her and the legacy of her husband on this Memorial Day.
Hi, my name is Krista Simpson Anderson, 2018 Armed Forces Insurance Military Spouse of the Year and co-founder of the Unquiet Professional. My military marriage began December 20th, 2008 to Michael Harrison Simpson. From Germany to Fort Bragg to our home with 1st Special Forces Group at Joint Base Lewis McChord, we spent months apart, moved, had babies, and created a crazy, wonderful life. Our life wasn't much different than most military couples. We would spend 6 to 8 months apart each year. We learned to be intentional about communicating and attempting to maintain intimacy in our relationship. I learned that I didn't want to feel like strangers when he returned from trips anymore. So we wrote fiction stories about ourselves, each of us writing a chapter back and forth. We would read a certain book in the Bible together, or we would read the same fiction book together and talk about it. We learned how to communicate and feel vulnerable and uncomfortable together. The trust and love just grew more and more each trip away. There was a point that I started to feel bitter about caring for our sons by myself. And so I decided at that time to work on myself and see a therapist. And that drastically changed things. I saw the difference in our relationship right away. When I was comfortable with a sitter, we even started date nights and tried our hardest to not talk about our children the whole time. 2013 brought new adventures. January, Mike returned from a trip. February, Gabriel stopped nursing and I was devastated. And then Mike left for pre-mission training. When March came, we got to spend some much needed time away before his upcoming deployment. I was nervous to be away from my kids, so we chose Portland, Oregon instead of Mexico and spent 3 nights rather than 5, just the 2 of us. I will cherish that time forever. Less than 30 days later, I received a call from our company commander informing me that Mike was injured in an IED attack in Afghanistan, returning from a mission with his team. 4 days later, we landed in Germany, and the doctors declared Mike brain dead. Today, Gabriel, our youngest son, he's 8 now, just recently asked me, "How sad were you when you found out Daddy would not live?" And my response to him was the saddest I've ever been in my whole entire life. We all have times in our lives that shatter us, and we aren't sure we will ever be the same. Don't try to be the same. Let your experiences, whatever they are, shape the beautiful person you are today. Embrace the love and anger in your marriages, and when times are tough, pray for a new day. How did I survive? God. I also had to learn to love myself again without Mike and to feel worthy of love. I had to learn to fall apart and not feel weak. I had to forgive and pray for those who took him away from us. I had to remind myself over and over again how much God loved me. I had to accept that love looks differently with everyone you love. Love doesn't come in categories like, I love all my friends this way, or I love my kids this way, or in my case, all of my husbands this way. Just because it doesn't feel the same doesn't mean it's not real. My husband now, Gus, and I got married in 2017. He was a member of Operational Detachment 1433, Mike's team. They were teammates and friends. And we have experienced many emotions over the years, and we have decided to shut down and not communicate. And those are the times when it gets dark. It's not easy loving someone that loves someone else too. Gus never makes me choose between the two of them. And clearly my relationship with Mike is different than it was before, like those days in Oregon. But I have intentionally realized that and have had to accept that. I have recognized that I need to be intentional about honoring Gus, especially since so much of my work is in memory of Mike. God has blessed me with two incredible men to love me beyond measure, and for me to do the same. He has blessed me with two amazing sons to lead by example, and I want to show them how God intends for Gus and I to serve each other as man and wife. Their lives and relationships will be different, thankfully, because we make a lot of mistakes. But I pray that they always see that we love each other, but that loving each other isn't always enough. We must act on that love. And what I have learned and tried to incorporate in my marriage today, lots of things. Take time for each other. Take pictures with each other, not just your kids. Write notes, be silly, laugh at yourselves. Make each other feel special, even when you don't want to. Create things to do that only you two do together. Put each other first. Create unified front with your kids, even if you don't agree. Let them see you fight and make up. Remember, each day is a new day. Plan your funerals together. Ask why. Don't put your lives on hold during deployments or business trips, but never forget to let each other in and weigh on the important decisions. Be intentional about passing off control. Continue to find your best ways to communicate. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Don't ever let fear make you a prisoner. Listen, forgive. Always try to lead with grace and mercy. No matter how many years it's been, military life sometimes feels like 100. The conditions and obstacles most military couples endure make for a complicated relationship. I believe these complications can lead to stronger and more fulfilling marriages if fostered properly. There is no doubt that marriage takes a lot of work. I could venture to say military marriages and their unique circumstances take even more work. You must think outside the box and never compare your marriage to anyone else's. The blessings are we tend to appreciate the little things in life and don't sweat the small stuff. We learn quickly what's important, and that all holidays, maybe except for 4th of July, can be celebrated any day of the year. We can be loyal and dependable and are able to make decisions or plans at the last minute. OCD about certain things and relaxed about others. We get our alone time and can learn to appreciate each other on a different level as long as we stay intentional. Never forget why you fell in love. Always embrace your experiences in life and how that changes you as individuals and as a couple. Don't stop trying. Happy Military Marriage Day. God bless.
Wow. Wasn't Krista's story just so impactful? I hope that you took something special away from her reflection on her military marriage. And I also have another request on her behalf for each and every one of you, if you haven't already, to please register for the virtual Memorial Mile. This is actually an initiative that our Gold Star families and all of our armed forces family should participate in, especially during Memorial Day. For this Memorial Day for 2021, they will actually be honoring John A. Pelham, Patrick D. Feeks, and Philip D. Ambard. I hope I didn't mess those names up, but those are who we are actually going to be honoring today, Memorial Day 2021. And I will have a link in the show notes so that you can see how to still, it is not too late, still get involved with the virtual Memorial Mile. Also on that, at that link, you'll be able to check out Military Family Magazine article where they highlight everything that is going on. Thank you again to Krista for being an advocate for our military families, for sharing her story. And I hope that you enjoyed this Heart to Heart.
Thank you for tuning in. Remember to rate, subscribe, and review. This is Hearts and Stripes. We are the few, the proud, that aim high and are forged by love. Always ready, always there. We are Mill Marriage Strong.